What's going on, and welcome back. Please like and share this video. Today we're going to be fixing a broken mainspring on this Hampden 18 size 21 jewel North American Railroad pocket watch. Without further ado, let's get into it. First, we're going to need to remove the case screws that are holding the movement in the case. Then we're going to need to remove the screw holding down the balance assembly. Then we're going to want to flip it over and remove the bezel. The bezel is going to have a little ridge in there. What you're going to need to do is use a case opener tool with a very thin blade edge and get in there very gently and pop it out. Now let's see if I can remove all these screws without messing up. So far, so good. Now the screw that holds on the balance assembly. Oh, 2 out of 3. Bring the balance assembly up and remove it. Now we're going to put in the case opener very gently. Don't want to chip or scratch that dial. If your case is not screwed in like mine is, you're going to need to pop it out. Mine, however, has a screw holding it in, so all I need to do is roll it over and it will come right out. Now, if this is your first, second, third time doing this, you're going to need to remove the hands before you put on the case holder because you do not want to break or bend those hands. Now we're going to remove the plate that's holding in the mainspring. And this just pops right out. Now, some people like to remove it with that little ridge right there with a screwdriver. I do not like doing that. What I like to do is push it down on my anvil, and it usually will just pop right out. And there we are. Less of a chance of marring the barrel. And there is our problem. Now, what we're going to want to do is remove the rest of that mainspring in there. Be careful. Those still have some spring to them, so pull them out easily. Reverse with your left hand, pull with your right, or vice versa if you're left-handed. But those can fly out, so be careful. Alright, now that we got that out of there, we need to throw that in the cleaner. Get that cleaned up. And we're back, ready to be put in our new mainspring. What we're going to be using today is a K&D mainspring winder. It's number 128. Here's all the pieces you need to replace mainsprings in most size pocket watches. Now the main reason this tool is so handy is that most pocket watch mainsprings, they are bigger than the mainspring barrel itself. So it has to come out. You have to get it in there. You have to put it in all at one time. Now this is the mainspring arbor. What you need to do is find the little ridge on it, see which way is flat, and that will tell you the direction on which to put in the mainspring into your mainspring winder. After we figure that out, go ahead and put in the mainspring to our tool. Now this is a little tricky because this is not my normal setup. I'm using my little vise to come over to film it, but we'll get through it. Next, we're going to need to be using our mainspring oil, Mobius, and it's 8200. That's what I use, and then I also use this Bergeron oiler that helps apply it. And I usually put some on the bottom where it does show some signs of wear. Now what you're going to want to do is line up the T to the bottom of that mainspring, push it in there, get it ready. Then I don't really have great support with this vise, so I'm just going to push it in with my fingers. And there you go. The T is in the bottom of that barrel. That will hold it. And that's where all of our power is coming from. Next, we're going to want to go ahead and put some oil on it, as well as reinstall the arbor. What you do is put it on your anvil, find a hole that is bigger than that hole, and you just want to put it in at a little angle, and it should pop in. Then get it attached. I kind of go wind it up a little bit to make sure it's on there and that it's tight enough so it won't slip off. Next, I'm going to go ahead and apply some of the Mobius 8200 oil grease on it. It is a little bit thicker. Not too much. You just kind of want to get it in. I usually go 12, 6, 3, and 9 in a little bit different areas on it, and then also around the arbor, so that while it's winding up and winding down, it can distribute that evenly. Next, you're going to want to put the cap back on. You're going to want to line up the top of the T with that opening on that cap. And then I usually just go ahead and snug it in with my thumbs. After it's on there, I usually will flip it back over, put it on the anvil, and press straight down on it to make sure it is tight and won't pop up. After that is done, we are ready to reassemble the watch. Now, on the bottom of the barrel, on the arbor, there is a square. That square needs to go into a square hole that's on a gear that's on the bottom of that plate right there. You just need to line that up, just kind of work it a little bit, and it should just drop right into place. Hopefully you can see that. Yep, and it should be flush with that top plate. Then we're going to put the mainspring plate over that, get our screws, and start reassembling our pocket watch. Now, the reason I'm not doing a full COA on this is because I have already done that. I was actually timing it, and on the second run through, towards the end of it, it did do a little zing, totally stopped working. I knew exactly what the problem was. Next, what we're going to do is use this little key winder. I like to wind it all the way up. That way, make sure that the lid is tight on that mainspring barrel, as well as it's going to work properly before I start putting everything back together. And what I do is I take my tweezers and gently just nudge the pallet fork. And if it goes over by itself, I know we're good. And so far, everything looks great on this. So now we just got to put it back together, and it should keep great time. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. And here is the sneak peek at what our next video is going to be on. It is how to repair a loose roller table back onto this balance wheel. Turn on that notification button because the next video will be coming out in the next couple of days. Until then, see you later.